What's up, my loves and fellow creatives? Let me know where you're chiming in from so I know you can hear me. Hey, E, Sierra, T. Mercer, Sharon's in the building. Hey, Shika B, and DeShanta's here. Hi, Ariel and Helena. How you doing, love? I appreciate y'all for joining me. I'm trying to get back on the map, but your girl's been inundated lately, but I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. I'm happy to be here and blessed to have you all in my presence as well. We're going to go ahead and get into this next class, which is 148. So it'll be today at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm just doing the demo right now. All right, we got Jersey in the building. All right, Jersey. I am actually looking forward to doing a workshop there. So hopefully we can get some more Jersey folk. From Spain. Hi, Tiki. Or TG. Let me know if I'm saying it right. Of course, ATL. Oh, Aaron, we do have a 101 class, but every single class that we do that starts with a 100 is beginner friendly. So as long as you have Photoshop on your computer, you will be able to complete the course with us. I promise you that. Our motto here is no creative left behind. We make sure that you complete the project with us. All right, Dallas, yes. We're coming to Dallas. I think next month. Well, November. I'm looking forward to it. Hey Q, that's my sis there. All right. So this one's really simple. We're going to do at least I'm going to show you how to do a layer mask on here from scratch. So that is going to be pretty fun. But these new templates like this one here, because it's a smart color template, is more like a 5-minute template instead of a 10-minute template. But the idea here is that as you all are using these templates and tools, you are learning things about Photoshop and applying concepts and tools that you may not have ever used before. All right, Aaron, cool. E, if you could message Erica, there you go. Message Aaron the details for that. That'd be cool. And Sonya Pensacola, you're not too far. We're in Jacksonville, so we did a pretty good sized workshop here in Jacksonville on Saturday. We had a full house. Uh, we went sun up to sundown. It was good stuff, fun stuff. So I have to share those photos too. So be looking out for that in the Innate Creatives Facebook group. And we will be doing at least one workshop in Jacksonville. I probably will start doing 2 and 3 workshops in Jacksonville each month. And then we're looking to do one workshop outside of Jacksonville. So I'm visiting places to make sure that if you all can't come to me, then maybe I can bring some of my knowledge with me to your destination. So we have Chicago coming up on the 23rd of October. So that's right around the corner. And then we have Houston. Oh, is it Houston or Dallas? It's Houston. My bad. I think I told, no, it's Houston. Okay. I don't know if I told anybody Dallas, but I get the two confused. Maybe if I travel a little bit more, I won't do that. So we've got Houston and then Los Angeles in December. So I'm looking to add a few more stops. I want to come to Jersey. I want to do either Jersey or New York. I'm thinking Jersey might be a little bit simpler to set up there. So we'll see, depending on how many folks want to come to that. The DMV area, DC, y'all been asking me to come to DC. I'm actually very excited about that opportunity. Also, Las Vegas is a pretty decent request to, to do Las Vegas. And I think Louisiana. So we want to come to Louisiana as well and add that to the map. Now, the idea is you don't have to live in these places, but if you're looking to travel, say for vacation, then you might as well make it a business trip. And hopefully you talk to your CPAs or your tax advisors and you can write that trip off, because if you spend at least 40% of your time working and honing your craft, if this is what you're doing for your business, and you should be able to write off that trip. So the idea is, yeah, you get to explore something, but at the same time, you're rejuvenating what it is that you're setting out to do for business. We don't just do the crafts, we also talk about business. We talk about some issues you might be having, suppliers you might be needing for certain things, just business tips in general. When you all just add, basically, you get me for that entire day. So, whatever resource that I have to offer, whether it's answering a question or providing you with, possibly how my setup is or what I might offer for suggestions for growing and expanding your business, all of that's built into the workshop. So, it's not just a crafting event, it really is a business building event. And it really is all day, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We are working within every single moment of that. You get a little break to eat, you get free lunch in the middle of that, but I promise you, you won't be bored. You won't be checking the clock. You will be trying to stay even after 5 o'clock, but we will have to keep things on the time schedule. All right. So Sierra, be looking out for the next Jacksonville one. I might do one in Tallahassee since that's where I'm from, and I do have quite a few folks in Tallahassee. I may do a Tallahassee stop, but more than likely, most of my Tallahassee folks have come to Jacksonville. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. I get excited talking about these workshops because they have really been um, just amping up my morale, amping up, people's spirits around me that are coming to the workshop. We feed off of one another and we all leave like ready to, like, I have some people that leave late and want to start on the project as soon as they get home. So it's really encouraging to me. I know that it's encouraging for you all. So I want to continue this momentum. I want to continue this process. So let me know also what it is that you want to learn, because after we do this circuit, um, while we're doing this circuit, I'm teaching new things in Jacksonville. So we'll do some half a day sessions where we're learning different things. Like some of you want to learn how to design and create cheer bows, for example. We'll have a workshop on just doing spirit packs where to have cheer bows and socks and maybe some koozies and items that you can represent in your local areas as spirit packs. So let me know what it is that you want to hands-on learn, and I will start making that a part of the hands-on workshop curriculum. All right. So let's see. You're a good 10 minutes in. Let's go ahead and get started on this design. I was trying to see. Let me check real quick to see if anyone uploaded a photo for me. I'm gonna check real quick because I want to do this flip and I want to do it with one of your photos because you all always offer such great images and it always gives me inspiration. Ooh, I found one. Let's see. Denise got one here and it's a good color change. So I like that I'm going to have a color change with this one. Awesome. So Denise, I think I'm going with yours because it'll be a good color change. Right, I see you have a good one too. If it weren't a screenshot, I probably could do that one. So see if you could re-upload that one, and I'll see if I might be able. If I do two image change outs, then you can win that one. So far, Denise, looks like you are going to be our winner chicken dinner. Well, template winner. Let's go ahead and go to remove BG. See how we remove the background from this with ease. And let me go ahead and drag and drop this image here. And it looks like it cleaned it up pretty good there. I'm going to go ahead and download that. And this will be our new source image. Now, I don't know, do you have a logo, Denise, for the Mega Boys? And I might even be able to Google one. Let's see. Let's see what. And is it boys with an S or Z? Z. I thought I saw a Z. Let me see. Does that happen to be their logo? Let's see, Mega Boys, and then we'll do football. And I know that there is a little bit of lag here in the live versus your comments, so I'm just actively trying to work until I see if you're on here with me. Let's see what Google helps me find. No, that's probably not it. This looks like the same type of imagery here. Possibly even that is the logo, not sure. But let's just say, for instance, if I am using this as inspiration, because I think this logo is a little long, but let's see if we can use it. Let's go to open image and new tab. Ooh, that is tiny. I can't use that one. So let's just go with a tiger logo if we don't have a logo for the Mega Boys. Uh-oh. This keyboard is not quite up to speed with me, so when I type, it is always lagging. Come on, baby. Yeah, I thought maybe I'd find something. Oh well, let's find us a little tiger logo, a tiger mascot logo. Just because I saw a tiger. And I promise you I have a million tiger logos, but I'm just taking you through my process. Let's say this was your team, your logo, you're trying to find that. That's a saber-tooth tiger. I like that. Image in a new tab. I'm just pretending like this is your school, this is your mascot. So we'll go ahead and save that image. And it's a WebP image. You see that? So when it's a WebP, this is my trick. Right click, I show it in the folder. Then I open it with Paint. So File, Open with Paint. Paint can pretty much open anything. And then I do File, Save As, and save it as a JPEG or PNG. So in this case, I'm just going to save it as a JPEG. And let's put it in my 148 miscellaneous. And we're going to call this our logo for this one. And of course, I will have to color it our theme colors. Why not? So let's go ahead and right click. I'm going to open this one with Photoshop. Before we even get started, I'm just going to make this whatever color I need it to be. But I also need it to be a PNG, of course. So what I'm going to do to make sure that it's the appropriate colors, I'm going to go ahead and grab this outside. I don't need it. I'm going to select the inverse of that and make sure that I have a smooth mask. And how I do that is I'm going to choose the overlay here. The color that I'm going to choose is just something that will look a little weird for me so that I know what my mask is cutting out. This looks like a very clean image, and that's because it was a high resolution image. So let's go ahead and say OK. And we shall create a new layer mask. That's going to clean that up. Clean up that background. Now, I still see a little bit of that orange there, so I'm going to go back a moment. Let me go back to my selected mask, and I'm going to shift the edge a little bit. And I'm shifting it inside because it picked up just like a pixel thickness around this, and it had like an orange glow to it. And if I want to change colors, and I don't want that happening for me. And right now it's not showing me the preview where it changed, so hopefully it did what I asked it to do. And it did not. Let me undo for a second. Now, normally as I'm doing this, it will update like the preview, but I think I have a lot of resources pulling right now. So I'm not sure why it's not showing that preview, but shifting the edge should pull it into this area a little bit. And I don't want to pull smoothing and feathering up. I might pull smoothing up a little bit just to see. But feathering will make it blurry around the edges, and I want it to be crisp and clean if I can get it crisp and clean. Okay, so it did inset it a little bit. This is just a larger image, so it did it a little more subtly, and it looks good now. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to apply that layer mask because I want that to be permanently what my image looks like. And if I wanted to get rid of the white around it, I could do that as well. Same thing. So let's grab the white because I can put my own white outline around it. And I'm just adding to the layer mask here. Just cleaning that up. So this is what you all would do if you have a mascot that you want to use. Make sure your mascot's ready to go. And all you're doing is just cleaning up the background from it. And I see a couple of little things in here that I want to clean up. So it's obviously it's not vector, but you see this down here? Let's clean that up. I'm going to take my lasso tool here. I'm on my addition because I have my background selected. I'm just going to get rid of that. And see any other places where it looks odd like that, let's get rid of it. And I'm just adding to my current selection. There we go. And this time, because I have the outside meat selected, I want to select the inside meat. So I'm going to select, inverse, and then I'll go back to selected mask. Make sure that I have a good clean edge here. And see, now I have that white outline out of it. So sometimes remove BG will remove the white background. If y'all end up having that, then I will show you how to fix that in class. But sometimes the white would also get removed from inside of the logo, and obviously that's not what you want. So I also could have gone into remove BG, and I'll show you that. To do the same exact things, I can take, hold on. See, it might not let me do the WebP, so let's go ahead and grab the logo that we took to, what did we take it to? Miscellaneous, there it is, JPEG. And let's see if it removes the white. If it does, then I can show you all how to fix that. So it didn't remove the white, and it also didn't remove this white outline out here. So if you have issues like that, then of course I will help you all in class clean it up. But for the most part, do your best to just get your mascot logo at least with the background removed. And if you don't have Remove BG, the subscription, you can do the download preview for free. And then of course you have to use a credit in order to download the HD version. All right, so I think we're ready to roll. All right, so I'm closing out of my Facebook so that it won't eat up all these resources so we can get going. So this is going to be my logo. I'm going to go ahead and just save this as a PNG. And I can export just this layer as a PNG if you didn't know that. We can right click quick export it as a PNG. That way it doesn't save all of this extra background and outside meat here. And I'm just going to save this as my tiger logo. There we go. And I don't need to save all of that because I have the PNG, so that should be good. All right, so I have a photo. Photo's already cut out. I have my logo. Logo's already ready to go. So let's go ahead and do our change up. The first thing I'm going to change up is the photo. And the reason why is because usually that has the photo and the logo are probably going to have the colors that you want to change out. And in this case, oh, that's what I was going to do. Change the logo to match the photo. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and change out the photo. I'm going to turn the eyeball off, and then we're going to drag and drop. Or we can do this, because I don't show y'all this often enough. Sometimes your drag and drop doesn't work. You can just go to File and then Place Embedded. It does the exact same thing. I like the drag and drop just because it feels more natural to me. All right, so we're looking for our PNG, sort by date. There's our PNG there. I'm going to just place it. And with Remove BG, it does preserve the background. So to make this a little bit bigger here. And I do see where it took a little bit of the sleeve off there in the white. So same thing with the logos. It'll do that to you. So let's go ahead and make a new layer. I'm going to bring it below my existing layer. And in this case, it's just really simple just to build in a little patch right there. I'm going to grab my fill bucket, which is below my gradient, or my paint bucket. And let's grab that white right there, because that's not pure white. So if I hit Alt, it turns into a eyedropper or color picker. I'm grabbing that white right there, which is more of a light gray, and then I'll fill it in right there. If I didn't like that, I can Control Z, and let me pick a little bit different area, and I can fill it in with there. Let me go ahead and do deselect. It's a little bit, this is what you would do for the logo because you want a flat color. This I'm not liking too much because I don't see any pattern, like any, you kind of need that fuzziness to look like it matches. But in this case, we're going to go ahead and roll with it because we want to be able to spend some time doing some other things. So I'm just going to go ahead and take these two and merge those layers. Alright, so now at least that's filled in so it won't have the background color there. Now that the photo's updated, all I have to do is exit out, hit yes to update, and my photo is updated. Now in this case, because it's a little different orientation, and probably because I'm going to fade off the crocs down there, I may end up doing Control T here, Control T to transform, and just transform my image size there. Alright, so the other thing I want to do, I mentioned fading out this image. So we can go ahead and take this image, throw a layer mask on there. And on the layer mask, I'm going to go ahead and pull this up too, because I want to make sure I fade all of that off, just in case I move it around. I'm going to take my paintbrush, make sure I have a brush that's about 800 pixels. It has to be a soft round brush that comes, of course, free with your Photoshop brushes. And 800 pixels is enough to kind of fade this off without looking too harsh. So I have that there. And then I can just move my photo down a little bit. And you'll have a couple of options too. So in this case, let me go back just a moment, because what I want to do is show you the difference here. We'll be able to switch it up. Okay, see how we have we no longer have that big, that full body image. We have more of a bust up photo. You're just going to have to do Control T and change that accordingly. And then you would turn off or make you a fresh new layer mask here. So I'm just going to disable it right now just so I can go ahead and do this as a variation. So let me go ahead and turn everything off here. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and save this as a JPEG. And this will be my example one. Let's go back to our photo. We'll change out that smart object. Bring back our layer mask here. And let's go ahead and turn on these guides because I really want you all to design with the guides here because it gives you a good idea of whether you're going to potentially cut something off as far as text or photos. All right, so this one is interesting. I like that it has some colors that we don't normally see together. So you have like this Carolina blue and red, and I like that color combination. And of course we have this handsome young subject here. So that makes the design even greater than I expected. I love when y'all send me y'all's images because it just makes the templates that much more interesting. Because y'all always have the cutest subjects. All right, so let's go ahead and get ready to change our color scheme up. I think that would help me for changing out that color, that logo. You won't be changing the logo color in class, so make sure that you have the logo color that you already want. I'm just doing this because I just made up a logo and I want to show you all the color scheme and I don't want it to interfere. So let's go ahead and I'm going to open up that PNG logo. And we're just going to change the colors of it. I'm going to, instead of contiguous, I'm going to take off contiguous because when I select a color, I want to make sure it selects every place that that color is. Let me show you the difference. If I select contiguous, it's only going to select the immediate colors. Okay, thank you. So it's only going to select the color that is touching. So if you think of the contiguous United States, it's basically the states that are touching. All right, so I'm going to take off contiguous because I do want to color everything that's on that layer. And I'm just going to make a new fresh layer there. You just place it right there. Thank you, love. I appreciate it. All right, so now let's go ahead and grab our color. So for this design, I'm not sure what I want to be red and what I want to be blue. So we're just going to play with it. Smart colors here are at the top, and then you also have your master text up here. So really and truly, you don't have to do anything with the design, but change out the photo, and I'll even put a photo master up here. So the master is pretty much, hey, this is the only thing you should have to touch. And let's delete that. We'll call this the photo master. All right, so let's go ahead and let's choose the blue as where the gold is. So one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use my color picker to go ahead and pick up the blue. If I can't see it, I'm going to zoom in and look somewhere on the jersey. I can find that blue. I'm going to grab it right there. It's a little bit lighter here. So just depending on if I want it to look more like that Carolina blue, or I think I'm going to go right there because that's the color right in the middle. So see how it stores that color right there in the swatch? I'm going to hit my switcheroo button so it can store the red color in the other place. I want a little bit darker red right there. There we go. So now that I have these two colors stored as my foreground and background, I can play around with them. I'm going to go ahead and change out my overall color. So before I do my logo, just because that's what we're going to be doing in class. So let's take Smart Color 1, and I'm going to duplicate this layer and double click on the swatch here, and I'll be able to pick the red, the blue from my foreground and background colors. I think I'm going to do the blue first. Let's hit yes to update, and let's watch everywhere that it was gold, it's going to update to blue. Let's see how that looks. All right, so I'm liking that already. So let's go ahead and change the red. So I'm thinking that the red, because it has a little black in there too, I can make the red the background color. That's the easiest to change. So that would be, I believe, color number 4. Let's duplicate that. Double click on the swatch and let's choose this red over here. And let's see what that looks like. I feel like it's a little too overpowering. I'm going to do this one. Smart Color 2 is the red instead. Let's duplicate that layer and let's make that one red. Double click on the swatch. And let's do the background color. Let's change it back to black and see if that kind of gives us the look that I want. And I even think we could even go with white in this instance because the jersey is white, but then I wouldn't see these little flares here. So let's keep it black here, and then I'm going to go where my drop shadow is here. I have the option to change it. And I think I'm going to leave it this red and blue just because it makes the colors pop out. But I want you to know that you do have an option to change all of those colors out. All right, and then let's go ahead and bring in our color logo now because I think that adds a little more color to the background as well. And of course, we have to recolor the tiger here. So let's see how we're going to do that. We can use our paint bucket. Let's go ahead and make this part red. And then I'm going to select this darker area here from the original layer. And instead of red, I'm going to make this a little bit darker red because now we're basically making the shadow of the same color. And this is not how I would typically recolor an image like this. I would actually recolor it as a vector image. So I would vector it and then recolor these sections, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. All right, so that is recoloring those shadows, and maybe the highlights I can make blue. Let's see, let's grab those little yellow highlights there, and let's make a new layer. And this time we're going to bring the blue to the forefront, and let's color it there. And that looks fine, just to kind of give it a little general coloring of the image here. I might even take my shadows here, the gray shadows, and also make them blue. It's a little odd looking, but it at least gives our logo the color scheme that we need for this. Okay, so let's go ahead and just let that be our new PNG. So I'm going to save as for this one. And I'll let it save it as a PSD just in case we need to go back and change these layers, these colors of these layers. All right, so now as far as the logo goes, I'm going to pretend like my logo is ready to go. I'll go to the logo placement here, and this is a smart object, so whatever happens here is also going to propagate to the watermarked image in the back. Let's double click on the logo. We're going to drag and drop this time. And you can drag and drop Photoshop files within a Photoshop file, and it'll just be a little smart object. There we go. And just make sure it's centered there. Now I turn off the Black Hawk logo from earlier. Say yes to update the smart object. Let's see what it does. Alright, and obviously my image isn't cleaned up enough, because see how I get these little bumps on top of the head here? That means my outline is not specifically clean. So let me go ahead and go in there and see what's going on at the top of this image. Like I said, it's not nearly as clean. See those little 2 bumps right there? Let's delete those. And that should clean up my edge, my outline there. And it looks like it may have even been in more than one place. Let's see here. I'm just cleaning it up just in case it's on one of these layers, because I don't see it here. But it's just really tricky. If you see it and you just know it's there, we're just going to go ahead and make sure that it's not a part of this selection. And really, I'm spending more time on this logo than I am on anything else. And sometimes that's what you end up doing when you have, you know, poor quality images that you're starting with. Which is why I suggest you charge more for that. Okay, so see how I was able to clean that up? I don't know where the little speckle was, but it was throwing me off. And now the speckle is gone. All right, so now all we have to do is change out the name of the logo here. So let's go to, let's just stay up at the top. If you stay up at the top, it's really simple. You can just change out the team name. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that layer and turn off the Black Hawks. Let's see, this one is Mega Boys. So Mega Boys, I may be able to make larger. Mega Boys. Let's do Control T so we can transform it. And you just don't want it to go outside of this canvas because it will get cut off. So we'll update that. Alright, so now I have the name or the team name updated here. If we want to change the number, it's the same principle here. I'm going to go to the master number, double click on the smart object, and let's change that number. And I'm just going to duplicate it because I do want to keep the existing number for the person that won the template. So I'm going to change that to a number 13 now. So double click on the T, we'll change it to 13. Turn off the 80. Let's go ahead and say yes to update. Alright, so now I have my 13, and of course I don't have the name. If you want me to change the name, then I can, but I think this is easy enough and self-explanatory. The same way we just changed everything else, you would double click on, and that should say first name, but again, my keyboard on this one definitely does not keep up with me. See, I just typed it in just then, and it's tripping. Alright, so now I should be able to double click on that and change the first name. Same way. Double click and change the text style. So I'm going to leave this one as first name just because I think that'll be something that will make you change it once you see it. And There was something else that I'm going to do for this one. Oh yes, I was going to show you all. I'm going to make a layer mask for this one that I probably have not made yet. So I was thinking either a polygon, or we'll do maybe, I don't know, we'll just make some kind of abstract layer mask. All right, so I wanted to make sure that it's going to be a 13 by 19 orientation. So let's go ahead and make a 13 by 19 rectangle. And if I just click anywhere with my rectangle tool, I can put in 13 inches as my width and 19 inches as my height. If I don't put the inches, it'll make it pixels. And then for this one, I think I am going to round off my edges a little bit. And let's see, let's make it a little bit greater than that. And because we have such a large file, you can barely see my corners rounded, but now you can see it. It's 138 pixels, kind of made it worth rounding off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to Control T and just make this a size that encompasses my entire artwork. And of course, when I do 13 by 19 artwork, I usually do resize my background and contents a little bit so that it is more fitting. But I think this pretty much gives me everything that I want to keep, including my text. And I want to make sure that it is centered as well. So I hit enter, lock in my transformation. Let's go ahead and take this rectangle. It's just going to be a suggestion for my layer mask. It is not the actual layer mask. Understand that I'm also going to build around it more than likely. So what I'm doing at this point is just going to figure out what I want this layer mask to look like. Let's go ahead and go to our paint brushes. That's usually how I make a layer mask, is with my paintbrush. And let's see what we want to use here. And I may not have, I have my brushes installed on here. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and change this to where I see the brush tip, not the brush stroke, and not the brush name. And then that should make this easier to see. So yeah, let's go with the polygon look. This is going to be a little odd because I'm going to have to build on it, but we'll see how it works out. Let's go ahead and do a new layer because I can't, or I should not be messing with the background layer there. And I'm just going to stamp, and I'm going to make sure that I choose my default colors here and just stamp there. All right, let's do Control T. And I'm going to use this more as my layer mask naturally. And let's see what I want to build on from this one. So I'll do a new layer. I definitely want some things kind of popping out of the edges here. And this isn't randomizing for me. Let me see if I have one that already randomizes, or I will have to randomize that one. I don't want confetti. This is a grungy looking brush. I like this. Let me try. I'm going to see if I can kind of use this little scruffy. I like that scruffy brush there. Let's see if we can build a layer mask with that. So we would have to make that a PNG. And I just want just that brush right there. Let's Control X, Control V. And now I can take this little scratch here and kind of scratch around my edges. And I'm just adding a couple of different instances of it. I'm doing a click and drag right now. I'll take this whole group and we're going to recolor it. Just something that stands out. There we go. Alright, so when I'm creating a layer mask, I'm trying to make some odd edges. So what you're ending up building is pretty much an art background. And most of these look very similar. This one is a little bit smokier. And like I said, I'm just building on it. And this one is very, very light. I'm going to get rid of that one. And keep in mind that's this layer right here. I can duplicate it a few times to see how opaque it's looking and if it's looking like I want. And I'm going to save the brush strokes for later. And get a little bit more of a kind of a watercolor background first, and then I'll add the heavier brush strokes on top. So let's fill this out, this edge here. Keep stamping with the brush. And this brush does randomize. If you notice, it's changing its size, so I'm using it kind of as you hit that, get that deselect off. So I'm using this brush as I see how it fits my frame, and I'm just using my frame for reference. So I'm going outside of it a little bit, and I am also trying to maintain inside of it. There we go. All right, so this is one side. I'm going to take a step back, look at it, and I'm going to build one edge of my frame, so then hopefully I can just flip it and make the other side of my frame. Let's go ahead, let's turn off. I don't think I'm going with the polygons on this one. I'm feeling a different direction. All right, and then let's go ahead and do a new layer for another brush because we want to build on it. Let's see here. That's a little bit heavier. Still giving me a little grunge here. And keep in mind, none of this is really blue. That is the layer mask that I have on here. And I'm letting it randomize for me and then staying inside as much as I can of the frame because I'm using that frame as a suggestion. Let's grab something else here. Like I said, this is completely random. If I want to change the size of my brush, I can right click and scale it up here, or I can hold down Control Alt and make my cursor bigger. That's my favorite way to change it. Alright, so I think that gives us something to go with here. And now I'm just going to take these two layers here and merge them. Let me get rid of my brush strokes there. Do Control T. Oh, I forgot to duplicate it first. Let's do right click and duplicate. Then I'll do Control T. We'll flip it. Same thing, we'll duplicate again. Control T, let's flip that. And in this case, I kind of need to shrink this down so I can shrink it down proportionately. Sometimes that doesn't work because it makes your edges look too tiny. You have to disproportionately shrink it or cut it off. So if you can tell what I'm doing here, I'm just basically building a frame. So same thing with this one, we'll duplicate that one out. Control T. And instead of rotating this one manually this time, I'm going to come up here to the top and rotate it 180 degrees. That also does the same thing as me manually pushing it. And I think I need to pull this in just a little bit here. Alright, let's hit enter, lock in that transformation. Now for the back color, it's not quite looking the same because I have the rectangle as its own color. Now this is giving me an idea of what this will really look like truly as a frame, and I think I like it. Let me turn that on and place this to the back. Now of course, see, I'm seeing my hard edges here. I don't want to see that. So I'm going to do Control T, bring it in a little bit. And then I'm going to fade off my edges here. So if I select, Control Select here, this selects the entire shape. I'm going to do a layer mask on here, but I need to go to my marquee tool so that I can fade it off. Let's go select a mask and let's feather this. Then I'm going to shift the edge inside a little bit. Let's go ahead and create that layer mask. And see how it softened up those edges there? You all won't be doing all this, but this is just part of me showing you. Sometimes I like to show you some more advanced things. So this is creating your own custom mask here. So if this makes you happy, let's try a different color just to make sure that it's standing out and it's what I want. That's cool, looks good. Sometimes like I went a little too far over here. That's apparent, but let me go ahead and take everything here, all these layers. I'm going to go ahead and merge those layers. All right, and then I'm going to do the color overlay as black, and then I'm going to merge this down. So we'll go ahead and merge this entire thing. So now I have a new layer mask that I can recolor whatever I want. And in this case, we don't need to color anything. Black and white is fine, but what I do want to do is, let me go ahead and add it to my layer mask file once we're done with this, because it'll be a new layer mask that I can add to my library. I will go ahead and do a color overlay here. Because this is a little too far off, and whenever I set things up, I feel like this would be misleading as my edge as far as centering everything. So I'm going to go back to my layer mask here. I'm going to grab, let's just grab the eraser here, And I'm going to do a soft round eraser. And just clean that up just a little bit. Down here I got a little carried away. I can clean that up. Maybe right here is a little too far. And this is just me doing this all by eye. I'm not measuring anything. I just know that what my 13 by 19 would look like and what I want to stay within. All right, so that layer mask is complete. I can go ahead and take that color fill off. Now that my layer mask is visible, I can hold down Control, click on the thumbnail, and of course everything is selected here now. Let's turn off the layer mask. I'm going to go to my background layer, and then I will add a new layer mask. There it is. So if I were doing this as a PNG, this would be my new layer mask. And of course, if you're doing this as your 13 by 19, you probably want to bring this logo in a little bit. You may even want to increase the size of your text and just arrange it just a little bit differently for a 13 by 19 than you would for an all over. And that would be a 13 by 19 look. All right, so that is all I wanted to show you all for the day. Let me go ahead and save that. Oh, I can go ahead and do my mock-up. So we can put that online and then I can answer your questions. Let me save because I have not done the save dance, so I'm tripping. All right, so let's save, and then I may be able to show you all the mock-up live because we'll go ahead and put that online as well. So you'll have the mock-up file along with the template with your downloads. Thank you, Chrissy Poo. All right, Callie, I see you, Camila. When am I coming to Louisiana? We haven't figured that out yet. Let us know when is a good time. And where, let me know the best location, because I think we were thinking of, I can't even think right now. Not Baton Rouge. Where does everybody go when they vacation to Louisiana for like Essence Fest? I always like lose my geographic locations when I'm in my art mind. That and math. I can't do math. Anything scientific or mathematic, geography, any of those subjects I can't do while I'm doing art. It's a weird thing that my brain transitions. I'm using 21 M's to sublimate onto Camila. Shreveport? We definitely have had that suggestion as well. So y'all have to let me know where y'all are willing to travel to, because then that makes it, you know, something that is worth me coming out to if we have a good group of you all. New Orleans, yeah, that's where I think we have the #1 request for Louisiana. But if yeah, so if people are willing to travel to New Orleans, even if they don't live there, in order to do kind of like a vacation slash destination workshop, then I am willing to do that. All right, so let me go ahead and get this ready for the mock-up. So we're just going to do the 13 by 19, and then we'll have the all over as well. So let me go ahead and bring back my all over before I do 13 by 19. All I'm going to do is right click and disable the layer mask that we just made. And we'll go to, oh, also let's take off all of this so that when we do place it, we don't have to worry about it fitting within a t-shirt. This could be anything. This could be a poster, this could be a banner, This could be if you're thinking about maybe doing some metal cards, kind of like how they do baseball cards. That is a good suggestion to do for these sports type of things, because this is something that they could use as bag tags for their luggage, as well as just memorabilia that they could keep forever. All right, so imagine every team that your kid played for, if you had like a card for that year, this would be a great keepsake for that momentum. Memento. I don't know what I'm talking about today. All right, so let's save this as a JPEG. And this will be variation number 2. And we'll also show it off as the 13 by 19. So let's activate that layer mask. And like I said, for 13 by 19, I would typically save this as a 13 by 19, then change some elements about it. For instance, I would make this text larger, bring it up because I have more area to play with, and I would bring the name down and larger. So let me do that. Because I don't want to do it on the main file, I would rather do it on a separate file here. So I will go ahead and save this. And then when I do a 13 by 19, I do a save as. And of course, it won't let me save as until this is complete. And then once I save this as a 13 by 19, I will have a 13 by 19 variation of this file. So if I'm only designing 13 by 19s, there's no reason to design it as an all over unless I plan on offering both versions. Then design it as an all over first, and then design it as a 13 by 19. So I'll take this one and I'm going to call this 13 by 19. I'll make sure I give you all this file as well. So now it's no longer an all over, it's a 13 by 19. I'm saving it as because this is going to save a version of the file. And let me show you what I would do in order to make this a better 13 by 19. You're welcome, Camilla. This is a blessing to be able to share with you all, and also to find out what you all need in order to grow your businesses. So this is a team effort here. All right, so I have this. It's not 13 by 19 by any means. We want to make it 13 by 19. So let's go to our crop tool. And I have plenty of videos showing y'all this process. But I know this is one of the number one questions, 13 by 19. And see how it almost automatically fits there? I'm just going to make sure that I take off the delete crop pixel so that if I need to, I can always expand this back to an all over. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit enter or hit this check mark up here to lock in my crop transformation. And this isn't 13 by 19 size. What this is saying is that you have a 13 by 19 ratio, and there's a big difference. So let's go ahead and let this do what it does, and then I'm going to show you image size. This is currently a 24 by 36. I want it to be a 13 by 19, so I'm going to type in 13 to the width, and it automatically makes the height 19. Let's do 19 here. All right, so let's let that update. Takes a little second, and then we're going to just rearrange this just a little bit for the 13 by 19, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So see how we get to keep a lot of our background elements because we kind of built that into how we designed all over, but it doesn't look like it scales well with the text here. So let's grab, so this is the team name here and the number. So I'm going to take the name and number together, Control T, and just make it bigger. And of course it's bigger because it has a smart color attached to it, which takes up the entire background space. So now I can just kind of pop out of that frame a little bit, or you can stay within the frame. if you want to do that. I'm taking the first name here, Control T, and I can make this one a little larger, pull it towards the bottom. And I like to take up as much of my 13 by 19 space as possible without making it look like a square. So this kind of helps me to achieve that. I'm looking for that little magenta line that pops up when it lets me know I'm centered. There I go. Hit enter. And now I can even make my photo a little bit larger. And this is how it's a slightly different orientation for the 13 by 19. And then maybe now the logo goes up front because it's a smaller image, and you can figure out where you want that to go. So like I said, a little bit different orientation for the 13 by 19. And now this is ready to save as a 13 by 19, but I can also go ahead and save it as a PNG, and it will have a transparent background. And that's what I would print. All right, so the last thing to do is to update the mock-up, and then we'll have this one ready for you all to roll in for tonight. All right, so I will also go ahead and save that big old file. And like I said, I will, if I have it as a 13 by 19 file, I will upload it for you all as a 13 by 19 after the fact, because I don't want us downloading it ahead of class and then having the wrong file open. So I'll give it to you all after the fact. All right, so let's go ahead and do the mock-up that we did for 147. We should be able to use for this one. There it is. And let's go ahead and save as 148 mockup. And I'll have the fonts for you all to download as well. So make sure that you download the fonts. You'll need to make sure that you have a mascot or a logo. It doesn't have to be a mascot. Let's say you wanted this to be maybe a wedding theme, and maybe it'll be Team Davis's or whatever. So Team Davis, and you can make this look like a team shirt and do some other kind of theme that might be related here. So you don't always have to go with the exact theme that we have presented. All right, so this is 148. I'm going to simply change out the images here. So I'll do this one 13 by 19. We'll do these two as the all overs. So I'm simply going to click on my all over and drag and drop the images from 148. So let's do this one here. Oh, and then we get this issue, of course, and that's because I did not flatten the image. You have to flatten the image because I made these mock-ups to where most of the time you cannot save several layers. And that just saves you from making your mock-up file way too big for no reason. So this one updated here. And I'm going to move this shirt over just a little bit more so you can see the logo there. All right, and let's go ahead and update this one with the all over as well. Wait a minute, I think this one and this one should be the 13 by 19. Now it already has a 13 by 19 on here, so just deactivate the all over, activate the 13 by 19, And let's drag the 13 by 19 on there from 148. That one we just did. Turn off the background layer, and then we can flatten that image. Hit yes to save the update. So now we have our little 13 by 19 version, which is actually, it looks a little bit bigger than 13 by 19 here. And let's do that one to this one as well. But we'll do the all over version for this one. All right, and again, we're going to drag and drop the all over image. Hit enter to lock in the transformation, right click, and we're going to flatten that image. That way it has no problem updating the smart object. And let me just make sure I have this on here. A little neckline here. There we go. All right, so now this is 148. And this is our 5-minute template. So I will have this uploaded within the next hour for those of you who want to enroll in class tonight. If you are a VIP member, that's the $60 a month membership, then you are able to take any of our live classes. We do them Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're able to do any of the live classes that we do on Wednesdays for free. If you are a $30 member, which is our standard membership, then make sure that you use your 67% off coupon code in order to take the live class. And of course, if you're a member in general, eventually these classes do unlock for you for free. And it just depends on when you enrolled, and if it's a class that that shows up after you enrolled, then you unlock 8 courses every month. So you unlock one of the courses, and let me give you an example so I'm not just talking. So I didn't even realize it was unlocking 8 courses for you instead of 4 courses a month. So that is even more of a steal of a deal, because what happens is you unlock, as soon as you become a member, you unlock 4 courses, and then every single 7-day period you unlock a new course. And if you're a current member, you will start to unlock the new course that came out for that week. So if you aren't able to attend lives, you still will get the new classes. It's just going to come 7 days later than when you enrolled. So just keep that in mind, that if you want it early, you have the access to pay for the 75% off or 67% off discount and have just early access to it, or you can just wait for them to unlock, and it will tell you when it's going to unlock. It'll say this this course unlocks in 7 days, or this course unlocks in 10 months. And if you don't want to wait 10 months, then you may by all means go ahead and pay for the early access to it. So these are some of the courses that we already have available. You are going to unlock, if you, let's say you started today, you would unlock 101 to 104 immediately. These are courses that you get the second that you sign up. And then every 7 days, you'll unlock a new course. So within 1 month, you'll unlock 4 courses starting from 105. But you will also unlock the brand new courses. So if you join today, you would unlock the course that we're doing today in 7 days. So anything in between there, of course, unlocks on its own natural timing, but you would be unlocking 8 courses every single month, and that is worth it just for the templates alone. You are also able to watch these courses at your own leisure. You don't have to necessarily have the pressure of the live classes, but the live classes help you if you are a newbie to Photoshop and you don't know what to click on, or you find yourself getting lost even when you watch the videos, the live class is exactly where you want to be. Okay, so that difference between the live classes and the pre-recorded classes is just that you get the hands-on help when you need it in real time. And of course, I'm looking at your screen. I'm not even opening Photoshop because the entire time you all are performing the work and you're not just watching me do the work and following along. You are doing the work and I'm helping you get through it. All right, so do y'all have any questions before I get ready to load this one up? You will see it up here at the top of the page here, or if you click on the live interactive courses, you'll see course number 148 come up, and it should be right up here at the top once I get it loaded. All right, well, if there are no other questions, I will see you all in class later on tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, maybe I did. Did I miss a question? Nope, I didn't. All right, Camila, I will see you in the course, love. And it looks like you might even be a newcomer. So I'm excited to get you in the class and see what you come up with. So everyone in class will have a final design by the end of class that you can print and promote immediately that night if you want to. Good deal. All right, loves. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. I love you dearly. And until next time, bye.